Hey there guys, Kadan here, back again with some Total War Warhammer. So, before we begin the video in earnest, a quick caveat, and just something to talk about before we get into a new campaign. Previously, of course, I've been playing through the Empire Grand Campaign under Call Friends, and as you may have known, for some of you who are interested in that series, that I stopped producing videos for it about a week ago. Unfortunately, those videos that went out were the last in a little line of pre-recorded content that I had, and unfortunately, with the new update, the Call of the Beastmen coming out, and a few issues I've been having with a hard drive, I am making the decision, unfortunately, to stop the Empire Grand Campaign. I know that some of you guys are going to be a bit disappointed in that, but unfortunately that is the way that it's going to have to be, which makes two series now that I've dropped, that of course being the Empire Campaign, and if you know what the other one is, you can keep that to yourself. Regardless, since the time I recorded those videos and now the Call of the Beastmen DLC has been released, which of course is what we're looking at right at the moment, with a new faction, of course, the Beastmen being added to the Grand Campaign and to their own campaign, a small, more narratively focused campaign set with the Beastmen tribe under Khazrak the One-Eye versus old Boris Todbringer, who we know quite well. This, of course, adds an innumerable amount of factional abilities and units that have been added to the Beastmen, and of course they appear in the Grand Campaign. So, what is my intention is that we're going to play through the narrative campaign, because it's a nice little shorter series of battles and a little bit of a smaller map. Spoiler alert, I actually played about an hour of this already during a previous recording that never went out because, funnily enough, I wasn't actually recording it, I was just recording my audio. So if I don't appear to be overly surprised about a few upgrades or units, that's why I've already seen them. Anyways, I'm really excited about the Beastmen, and I was previously when I first started this out. They're really cool. I'm excited to see what they're going to be developed into, like their animation skeletons and their rigs. I think that Demons of Chaos are a pretty big possibility based on the way that the Beastmen are animated. But overall, as a unit, or as a race to shake up the meta, they're pretty cool. Anyways, let's jump right into it for the Eye for an Eye campaign. Among the bitterest rivalries of the recent years is the struggle between the Elector-Count of Middenland, Boris Todbringer, and the Beast Lord, Khazrak the One-Eyed. Both despise yet begrudgingly respect each other. The two rivals have clashed on several occasions since, but now the battle for the Great Forest is truly about to begin. This campaign is more focused narrative experience, a desperate clash between two legends of the Drakwald. Of course, the only playable race in this small campaign is the Beastmen, which is very similar to the Caesar and Gaul DLC that was released for Rome 2. I never actually did play through that one, but I did play Hannibal at the Gates, which was a little bit more of a broader campaign. You got to play a few different factions. Whereas in this one, it's more of a single campaign pressing from one force against another force, kind of, with a few other factions mixed in there. The ever-bestial Beastmen and the forces under Boris Todbringer and other minor Imperial Elector-Counts. So, the Beastmen have some interesting mechanics that are somewhat unique but somewhat borrowed. They are a horde army, just like the Warriors of Chaos, so they build their troops and their buildings all within their horde. They don't build settlements, they only defile and destroy. But unlike the Warriors of Chaos, they do not suffer infighting from being in close proximity to each other. So you can combine armies together in the same region to strike at important targets. There's no concern about having too many Beastmen in the same area. You get bestial rage penalties for any positive diplomacy conducted, which leads for the Beastmen to really be an aggressive faction that takes no prisoners, no treaties. That is also compounded with the fact that they cannot trade. They only raid for income or loot and burn. They also, of course, have a strong diplomatic penalties with almost all factions. The Bestial Rage itself is a mechanic similar to the Waw of the Orcs, whereas if they raise it to a high enough state, they'll get a free army, but if it's too low, they'll start losing troops. And of course, they are chaos. They are born of chaos. They are twisted men from the ages of old that have bred and fornicated in the woods until they've become these massive war herds. So they have chaos corruption. And yeah, you start out, these top units for their chaos, or for the Beastmen, are the Cygor, which is a really cool Cyclops ogre that has some crazy abilities to throw stones across the map, has a weapon strength of 400. Razgor herds, which are interesting, nasty, basically chaos warthogs, which is cool. And the Minotaurs, oh man, the Minotaurs are very cool, which are, it's on what's on the tin, they're Minotaurs. So let's just jump right into it. And we are Khazrak the One-Eyed, very cool Beastman with a chaos runed cleaver and a whip, representing almost the old shamanistic side of the Chaos Gods. Whereas the Warriors of Chaos worship kind of their aggressive incarnations, the Beastmen worship more of an intrinsic, natural chaos. So they're much more shamanistic and much more in tune with the woods, the dark, brooding woods. So we start out with Minotaurs and some Centaurs, which are our cavalry, very fast. All of the Beastmen units are incredibly fast. It's one thing that I love the most. Like, even the Minotaurs are speed 56, which is crazy, and the Centaurs are speed 85, which is very quick. So bonus income from raiding, and of course leadership versus humans will define our faction effects. And yeah, a little bit of a detail on Khazrak. Khazrak is a cunning foe. More than a brutal beast lord, he's bestowed with an intellect far superior to that of his peers. The One-Eye has a deep understanding of his followers, able to channel the unruly nature of the herd and corral his gores by harnessing their wild nature. Not every true horn is worthy of Khazrak's retinue. Inferior tribes will come, gores from across the Drakwald, drawn by the One-Eye's dark reputation, and hoping to share in his despicable spoils. But Khazrak's success means he can afford to be choosy, and so only the cloven ones he deems worthy are offered a place by his side. Those that are turned down may well be sent on their way unmolested. Others that Khazrak deems a threat, perhaps bitter at their rejection, will not leave the immediate area alive. With the One-Eye able to be selective, Khazrak retains a fearsome grip on his army, a wild force that enacts his cunning and effective plans with murderous efficiency. No one is spared during Khazrak's attacks. His superbly well-trained warhounds easily chase down the foes who manage to escape the warherd's trap. The campaign is definitely going to be centered around guerrilla warfare and lightning attacks. It's a lot of fun. So let's jump right into it, and I'll show you guys the opening turns. So a trailer is similar to the one they put out for the promotion of Call of the Beastmen. A little bit different there. Not setting a new trophy upon the blood grounds, but caging them up in the gibbets. Which is a honestly horrible way to die, standing for days at a time, being pecked away by crows. Ugh. But the Beastmen have one goal, and that is to bring the death of Todbringer, Khazrak's ancient enemy. So of course the campaign is much more focused, so you see all these areas like Marienburg described in great detail. Like look at the swamps and the twisted trees. I really enjoy the detail that's brought by having a more magnified campaign map. And of course like all of the forests are like huge as opposed to just being tracts of impassable land from the Grand Campaign. And of course there it is, Middenheim. Oh, the goal himself. Old Boris Todbringer. Look at that crown upon his helm. What is it? That's like a cast? What is that? That's an ostentatious helmet. That is pretty cool. I don't think I actually noticed that in the first time I went through this. So Khazrak is pissed, and we, being the mighty chaos gods manipulating him behind the scenes, must lead him to victory against the forces of the Empire. And of course reap a bloody toll upon my old mates, the Empire, which I do still love them, but not for this campaign. Alright, so we have an objective. On the take. There are yet those who have not learned Khazrak's name, and the blood ground calls and he answers. We must destroy the following faction, Karelberg, and gain favor. So of course, the Beastmen do not use gold, they use favor from the Chaos Gods. Just like the Warriors of Chaos. Also, there is a moon mechanic that exists with the Beastmen, which is very cool. Every couple of turns, the moon waxes and wanes, and you get abilities that kind of define the way that your campaign is going to progress after the moon bestows upon you powers. So we'll see that in 7 turns. Or actually, I think it's like 3 turns or 4 turns until we see it. The full moon is a little bit more of a more powerful buff. So of course, here we have Khazrak's war herd. A few units here. We start out with 2 gore herds, an ungore herd with axes, 2 ungore spearmen herds, 2 ungore raiders, centaurs, and minotaurs. The cool thing about the Beastmen is 1, they're all very fucking fast, and which I really enjoy. And 2, they pretty much, for the most part, all have vanguard deployment and/or stock, which means that they can deploy in really strange and unexpected locations on the battle map, allowing for various ambushes and flanks to be committed to in the midst of battle, not just from the campaign map. The only ones that I know right now that don't are, of course, the Minotaurs, Khazrak himself, and the Ungore Spearmen. So you kind of have like a battle line here with some very terrible beasties that can hit from the sides. There's also a very interesting technological tree. So recently I've been playing a lot of Total War Attila. I picked it up on the summer sale. Been playing as the Himyar, which is a Semitic Arabian horse-focused faction, which kind of, I guess, leads into playing the Beastmen a little bit better. But the Beastmen have this thing here, the Seed of Hate, where the research rate gets a bonus of 20% and Chaos Corruption as well. You spend money on this, and it researches in 1 turn. Which is similar to what a few of the technologies were in Total War Attila. And this is set there to, as you grow in power, offset the minus to research rate that you get from actually researching technologies for the Beastmen. So here we have a few different options for technology. I'm going to go with the oh my god, I fucking had this issue pronouncing this earlier too. Vitriolic Temperament, which gives a bonus experience for gore and ungore units, and a minus 5% to research rate. Quick to temper and impossible to tame, such fierceness should be fostered if it cannot be controlled. Alright, so that's going to be building. Here in our Horde settlement, we have a few things. We have our main building chain. We have our regular recruitment chain military, which upgrades all the way up to the fearsome bestigores. And then we have a slot for advanced military recruitment, which allows us to summon shamans, minotaurs, gore bulls, minotaurs with shields if they weren't already as bad, great weapons, the Cygor, the mighty Cygor, and of course the Chaos Giants, which I kind of was disappointed that they got the basic Chaos Giant, but you know what, some things have to overlap in the unit rosters. Then we have some weapons and melee, or weapons and armor upgrades, and a few upkeep upgrades, up to 50% upkeep, which is really cool. And then also we can hire in Chaos Dogs, and then the Centaurs here as well, and our Razorgore Chariots and Razorgore Herds, which are those crazy Chaos Warthogs. For turn 1, I am not going to do any of that. This is a lightning war, and we must strike first at Carroburg as quickly as possible. So the interesting thing about the faction is that they have a movement ability similar to the orcs and to the dwarves, which is the beast paths, which allows them to move between across impassable terrain like mountains and dense forests, which really allows them to move quickly across the battlefield and strike at one place and move and strike to another place, drawing forces away. So let's get right into it and siege Eslo and start off our invasion on a high note. I'm just going to auto-resolve this fight since it's pretty much a guaranteed win. And we will take our spoils. You get two options when capturing a settlement. You can raise and defile, which is like raising it and then rampantly fornicating on the shrines of their gods, which is great, which gives us some chaos corruption and horde growth. Or we can loot and raise, which is, you know, standard gaining favor. Early in the game, I kind of want the growth, so we're going to grab that. And now Khazrak has gained a skill, and I'm going to give him the campaign movement range bonus since I always take it. It's always good to have that extra movement. And yeah, that is a lot of it for turn 1. Nice thing about having a small focus campaign is, watch this, click this. Oh, there's a little bit of movement. And boom, turns over. Look at that. No more like 10-minute turn times where I have to edit out. So we struck quickly, and of course they're sending reinforcements onto Dunkelbild. We're going to take out these minor settlements first. Eslo, Kaden, and Leidenhove, relieving Scheinfield and Carroburg alone. Dunkelbild will have to get when he moves away. But being a guerrilla fighting force, we should retreat back into the woods. There's an interesting part also about the Beastmen is that they're always in an ambush stance. So unless they have agents or like lords that can see us, they won't be able to actually know where our armies are. And if they pass by our armies, they're going to get ambushed. And oh no, are they actually attacking us with both? Holy shit, I might actually lose this right away. This didn't happen on the first time. Well, we're going to retreat. And we have pretty high movement range. And okay, so because of that, they didn't actually see where I went, right? So I think they had enough movement points to actually hit us. So now this puts us in an interesting position where we have both the armies that would be harassing us in this campaign very close. Now, the thing about the Beastmen is they have a chance to initiate a battle, a pretty high chance, where an army is getting reinforcements. They can pick a single army and cut them off from their reinforcements. Now, this would be a smart idea to do, but in all honesty, I think that it's a little bit dangerous because there's a chance that we won't be able to do it. So we're going to continue towards our goal, which is Leidenhof, or even Kaden, but we're going to move like this and just try to avoid those two armies. Hey! Ripperhorn tribe encountered. Other war herds roam this lands, Khazrak. Like us, they long for battle and destruction against the uncloven fools. Yet they appear indifferent to us, and it is possible they may be swayed to aid us with the right incentive. Which gives us a mission: impress the Ripperhorn tribe. A beastman will only follow a leader who can prove themselves worthy, or prove themselves truly capable of shedding the blood of man, seek out nearby human settlements, and lay waste to them. Display a fury so great that all beastmen will yearn to be a part of your war herds. So we have to sack or raise 3 different settlements belonging to the imperial provinces, and then they will respect me, which is nice. Always good to get some respect. Look at them retreating back into the woods, which is basically what we did. Alright, okay, so we're going to end the turn. Got a lot of cash, but I don't feel I'm overly safe in hiding here. Oh, are they gonna pass by? Wow, they got a lot of dudes. Alright, we're gonna have to keep retreating. Jeez. It's just pushing us further and further where I want to be, though, at very least. Dark choice. Ah, here we go. The ruinous powers take grim pleasure in your endeavors. In their dark mirth, they grant a boon. Which of their gifts will you choose? We can either get a Gorbel, which is a hero, a melee hero, or a Bray Shaman, which is the caster for the Beastmen. I'm going to take the Bray Shaman because we already have a tanky melee lord. And oh, we got a Bray Shaman of Beasts. Very nice. Lore of Beasts is the new lore. Available only for, oh, I don't want to press that, only for the Beastmen. And which terminates in the ability to summon, where was it? Summons a Manticore, which is really cool. Oh, is this Lore of Beasts or Lore of the... Oh, never mind. This is Lore of Beasts, sorry. This is actually what the Amber Wizard is for the Empire. I thought we got the Lore of the Wild, which is only available to the Beastmen. Very cool. This is also a new Lore of Magic, so we have a few abilities here that haven't been seen previously. We're going to send him out to try to harry the foe a little bit and gain some skill. This is going to go for an assaulting a unit. And he succeeded, very cool. And of course he got an ability. He already has a buff that he comes standard with, but if we want to push off into it, we're going to have to upgrade the ability, so it gets a 50% cooldown. And hopefully next turn we'll be able to give him another buff. Now, we've managed to like drag these two armies over to this side. And of course, like I did say, I wanted to take Leidenhof, but I don't think it's possible being this well defended. So what we're going to do is use the Beastmen tracks and watch this. They know I'm over here, but now I'm totally gone. In the next couple of turns, I'm going to be in Dunkel build, sacking, raising, and, well, wildly fornicating with, I don't know, apparently the all-male population of my warband, but I'm sure that there's females somewhere. I honestly don't know much about the Beastman reproductive cycle. All I know is that they were born of the chaos, like explosions at the north and south, the gates that led into the portals from beyond. Essentially, in Warhammer lore, there's these two like giant chaos portals that existed at the north and south poles. Gained a rank. And of course, I think it was the old ones that tried to fight against it, but like my lore is not the best when it comes to fantasy. Anyways, there's a great like wave of chaos energy that spilt forward, and it turned a lot of these tribesmen into what the Beastmen are now. So unlike the chaos warriors, I'm just going to take the leadership buff, and that exist to the north and have twisted tribesmen that you know, mutate and have powers of their own. The Beastmen turned into something more intrinsic, more primal. And oh, ambusher discovered. And so the Beastmen and the Chaos Warriors, while they do kind of get along and have similar goals, the Beastmen are looking to absolutely destroy any civilization, any remnants of it. They're just looking for blood and gore and guts. Whereas the Chaos Warriors kind of have like a similar goal, but they still are looking to create a sort of a chaotic empire. So that's where they differ. Anyways, we're going to set ourselves up in our encampment stance, and we should hire on some troops. We're going to take 2 extra groups of the Ungor Spears, and then that'll flesh out our battle line. And we're going to build up the Tier 2 Hag Tree Copse. The hag trees, which carry countless vile fetishes in their jagged branches, are natural meeting places for war herds. Gives us some growth, some recruitment capacity, and some chaos corruption in the local province. And then we're also going to build up a den, which allows us to recruit Chaos Warhounds. So while the Beastmen army is fast, the Chaos Warhounds will add an element that is even faster to it. And then we don't have any growth or population surplus for anything else, and I kind of want to wait to grab a mound of blades, or maybe even grab like a fire pit, but we'll have to wait on that one until we get a bit bigger. You are going to continue harassing the enemy so that you can gain those level ups, and we have tons of favor to do it, so I don't mind. Success after success. And hey, Herdstone Keeper. Some Gors are tasked to look after the Herdstones. Their reward often being sacrificed at the stone they kept in life. Okay, well, very nice. So at least you have that to look forward to. Dar Flesh Eater. You got a cool hood though, and I like your horns, mate. Really nice. So I haven't touched the Amber lore yet, so I'm just gonna have a look here. Here's the ability to buff the power reserves, which is always welcome, and I'm probably gonna have to take that. We also have Flock of Doom, which is a direct damage multiple combatant spell, which has a range of 200 meters. That's pretty cool. High chance opponent will resist damage. Well, that's not that great. Pan's Imperitable Pelt, which is a damage resistance and speed bonus. Holy shit, that's a good buff. Make our forces even faster and gonna survive a bit longer. And the Amber Spear, sounding a gnarled horn, the wizard summons a glowing amber spear and hurls it at the foe with uncanny accuracy. And that is effective at all ranges, good penetration, causes armor-piercing damage. I wonder if that's meant to be against, yeah, multiple foes. Let's see him cast it. Ah, pretty good. Then of course they have the summon, or the debuff, their Curse of Anora here. Speed and accuracy. And then of course the Transformation of Caden, which is, oh man, this is amazing. I fucking love that they're adding these abilities in. The ability to summon a Manticore. Kind of like flies over the ground a bit awkwardly, but cool. I'm going to take Wild Heart because it's just a good infrastructure buff. Like, it's something that you want to get all the time because it's just going to add utility to your wizard. He's just going to be able to cast more spells during the battle. It's good to get it early. So Caribberg, knowing that the western provinces are essentially lost. Oh, Man Brew. The Centaurs raided a nearby brewery, bringing back barrels of mannish beer. The herd gathers to slake their thirst. Sober for once. Leadership 5. Ah, that's very nice. So we completed the den and we completed the settlement upgrade. These guys have basically totally abandoned this section, so we might be able to sneak our way into Caribberg or even Sendin. So let's grab them. Oh, I kind of want to do upgrades. Ooh, Ungor Herd. Should we wait a turn for that, or should we just go for an easy raid? The Dark Moon is going to be up next turn, actually, so there's an ability that allows you to get extra unit experience while the Dark Moon is full. So that would work best with having the ability to hire on the Ungor herds, the ones with the axes. That would be our melee hammer, not our melee anvil. So we're going to do a little bit of a cheeky upgrade. And Akoa's Dar is going to continue his training by assaulting units. Gaining, oh, failure. Well, gaining that XP. Good job, Dar. You know what? You did well. And aren't you Dar? Wait, Dar, isn't Dar the name of the dark magic wind? I think. Or like mastery over dark magic? Oh man, I don't know. So we got Vitriolic Temperament, which gives us those bonuses to unit upgrades. And here it is. Morsleb is ascendant, usurping the sun's revered place in the firmament. The world is awash with its sick and terrible hues. Such an event is almost unheard of. It is a call to the Beastmen, a sign that their herd is an opportunity to dominate. Lead them, Beast Lord, seize glory. And so we're going to go with there's a few here. Each gives some interesting bonuses and malices, which, you know, all damage units will be fully replenished, but no growth. Bestial Rage plus 10 for all forces, but minus 33% upkeep, or plus 33% upkeep. Campaign movement range minus 50, but weapon strength plus 15%, and 50 bonus to all melee attack, which is great. Like, would be amazing if you planned an attack right before the moon went descendant. You got the ability to have this massive melee buff. And then, of course, for us, which I'm interested in, is the cost of skill. Plus 6 unit experience for all recruits, but a 100% increase to their cost, which is going to, of course, cost us. But that plus 6 is insane. So now when we go to hire troops, and we're going to hire on a few. Look at, they're very expensive, but look at that. Unit rank 7 for the Ungors. So nice. Unfortunately, we only have 2 recruitment slots, but we're going to grab one of these guys to flesh it out. And actually, we're just going to grab 2. I want to have 4 So 4 spear line, 4 like flank line, and then of course we have our bigger troops that will be strategically placed around. That has ripped us of a lot of our cash though. Alright. So you, I really don't think we continue to need you. I think you should just keep doing the assault and failing. Oh, he's gained a cultist. The servants of chaos are more than the barbarous Northmen. Throughout the mortal realms, secret cults worship the true gods, and so our plans advance. And we're gonna grab him. Flock of Doom, I think. Let's have a look. It's a direct damage. Well, that's kind of underwhelming. Even on the spell portrait, it doesn't actually like do that much damage. But it's disposable, and it would be nice to help out when we need to take down an enemy quickly. It's either that or the buff. Let's take Flock of Doom. And that is the opening turns for the Beastmen campaign. It's really interesting, and I'm excited to continue playing it. I'm really excited for what they're going to do with the infrastructure that they've built here. The different movement systems, like the way the beast paths work, even though it is like kind of a copy of the dwarfs and the orcs, it will be interesting to see if wood elves end up using that utility between being able to like move between forests really quickly, launching a lightning campaign. Same thing goes for like the Skaven. I'm so excited for the Skaven, like so incredibly excited to see when the Skaven finally show up. That's what I play on the tabletop for Warhammer Fantasy, or well, Age of Sigmar now. And yeah, and what to see what they're going to do with the animation like infrastructure they have in place, because I think that the Demons of Chaos are going to end up using the Beastmen animation skeleton or animation rig for their units. So I'm so excited to see demonettes on the battlefield, even though they're probably going to be the new demonettes, which aren't as skimpy as the old ones, but that's fine. There was a joke I actually made. I picked up the General's Handbook for Age of Sigmar, and there's some artwork in it, and it's the demonettes in the artwork are actually more clothed and covered up than the new Fire Slayers, which are the Dwarf Slayers like faction, which I thought was hilarious. Like the dwarves are showing more skin than the demonettes of Slaanesh. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm keen on continuing this campaign to finish it. Hopefully it won't take, as long as it did before. Now that Dark Souls 3 is over, I'm feeling a little bit like fresh and have the ability to do more smaller series of videos and some new games. So that'll be really fun. If you guys are interested in continuing watching this series, please leave a like. If you're not, leave a dislike and a comment as to why perhaps you're not interested. Please subscribe, because that subscription count helps. It really shows me what I'm doing well and being able to see what my user base is. And follow me on Twitter at KRDehane, because that's pretty much the only way I can actually directly talk to you guys besides the comment section. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.